Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on mounting EFS on EC2. Today we will create EFS file and mount it on two different EC2 instances which we will create in the lab and see if files get created on both the EC2 instances or not. That is what we are going to do in this lab. And to set up the EFS file, we can do either using the EFS mount helper or using the NFS utils file. In this tutorial, we are going to mount the EFS file directly from the console of the EC2, where we'll select which EFS file we have to mount, and then selecting one option would automatically install all the libraries required for the EFS file, and it will get mounted on the EC2. Okay, so let's see the architecture which we are going to follow today. Here you can see in the architecture there are some AZs, and EC2 instances are created in different AZs. Now let's say I have to save a file among these two different EC2 instances which are in the different AZs. So how can I achieve that? Yeah, this is where EFS file is used, and you can create mount point in multiple AZs from where EFS files can be accessed for the file storage. So let's get started with the lab. So in this lab, we will follow these 4 steps. Create 2 security group, one security group for EC2 and another security group for EFS. And in the security group of EFS, we'll need to allow traffic from security group of EC2 on port 2049 of the security group of EFS. And after creating this security group, we'll create EFS file with mount points at least in 3 AZs on which we have to share the files, and then we'll create EC2 instance, act as the previously created security group, and enable mounting of the EFS file which we created in the earlier step and mount it on EC2. So after these 3 steps are completed, the final step would be to check the sharing of file between both instances. For that, we'll connect to the both instances separately and create a file in one EC2 instance on that mount point, and see in the another instances as well that if that file which was created in the previous instance gets shared in the another instance or not. So let's begin with creating the security group for EC2. This is security group for instance. So add it security group for instance, adding it in the default VPC, and in the inbound rule we'll add SSH to log into instance and check if EFS files are connected or not, they are shared or not. In outbound traffic is going to everywhere. Going to create this security group. It says that name already exists, so security group 1. Next we are going to create security group for EFS security group. This is a security group for EFS. It is also going to be in the same default VPC. In the inbound rule, we will add TCP for 2049 and provide access to previous security group, getting the security group ID and adding it here. Yeah. So create the security group. Let's name it EFS SG1. Next we are going to create a file system which will mount on the EC2. Let's name it EFS Sharing, the default VPC. For the customized setting, you click on customize or regional. If we need it for only one zone, then select the one zone. For we are going with the regional. Automatic backup is enabled. It will automatically back up the files on EFS. So life cycle management, it will transition into infrequent access after the 30 days of storage on EFS. So let it be by default enable encryption of data at rest. So this is also default. What it does is it will encrypt any data which is stored in that EFS file, and the throughput mode will go with default, that is elastic is the recommended one, but provisioned throughput is used when we have the estimate of the workload's throughput. Then we can go with the provisioned, else it can be costly. So let's create it, move to the next. This is the network access point for EFS. It specifies where the EFS should be mounted. It creates a mount point for the file system. It says create the EFS in 3 availability zone, AP South 1A, AP South 1B and C, and it will automatically assign IP address to those mount points. For the security group, we have already created one for the EFS. Yeah, this one. Select the same in all. Yes. Put this as well. So going to next. File system policy. If we have to specify some certain restriction on the file storage, we can specify that in this editor, policy editor. For now, we'll go with the default, that is the empty policy. So you can review whatever options are selected for that EFS. Name is given file sharing, EFS sharing, throughput is elastic, it's encrypted at rest, lifecycle management is specified, backups is enabled, it's in the default VPC, and it is regional. Okay, alright. Mount targets are created. File system policy is empty for now. Okay, let's create the EFS. This will, after selecting the create, it will create the EFS file system which we are going to attach to the EC2 and create the mount points as well, 3 mount points. Yeah, this is showing creating. After the creation, it will be available. Okay, alright. Now we are going to create the EC2 instance on which we have to share those EFS files. Since this file is to be shared on 2 instances, we are going to create 2 instances of the same name and use the AMI from Amazon of Amazon Linux, EC2.micro. Keep here, I have already created one EFS lab. We have to specify the subnet, at least one subnet on which the mount point is created, and security group, the one we have initially created, instance, this one, and here select the EFS file which we had created in the previous steps and specify what mount point or the file in EC2 would be shared, EFS1, and save file. Yeah, and automatically create and attach security group. We have already created and attached the security group, allowed the ports for EFS, so I have to disable it. Automatically mount file shared by attaching required. So in user data script, it will install the necessary utils file for the EFS and then mount the file systems, launch it. It will take some time to launch this instance. I'll name it EFS1 to be clear which one is first and which one is second. This is 2. So as you can see, it's in a pending state. Instance state is pending and a status check is initializing. So it will take some time to instance state is running now. So it will have to pass a 2 status, then it will be in connection state. So I'll pause this video for some time and we'll get back when this instance is ready to be connected. Now both of the instances are running and a status is also passed. Let's connect to both of the instances. We'll connect. I'm connecting from the console itself, from AWS console. There are other options to connect to this instance via SSH client or attaching SSM, then connecting to it. For this lab, I'm connecting from the instance connect. So here we are into two instances. Here EC2 EFS1, EC2 EFS2. Now let's go to the mount point where our file can be shared. If you remember, the path was mnt EFS file. Let's see if there is anything inside. So currently this path is empty, no other files. Let's create one, test.txt. Okay, need the sudo permission. Yeah, so as we have created a file in this mount path, and this same file is mounted to EC2 instances on the different availability zone, so it should be shared in the another instance as well. So let's see if we can find the same file on the different EC2 instance I had created earlier. This is 1 into the 2. Let's move to the same path. On this instance, let's move to the same path and see if that file is created or not. File, yeah, this one. If you do ls, yeah. So this is a different instance, EFS2, and this is EFS1, but it's still the same file is available on both the instances. So this is what we were trying to do in this lab, and we successfully mounted EFS file on EC2 and shared the file among the EC2. I hope this short video tutorial was helpful for you. If you like the video, do give thumbs up and subscribe the channel for more such short videos on AWS and DevOps. And stay tuned to our Cloud Safari tutorial video. Thank you.